I really hope that this game is nice to me today, otherwise I am pretty sure I might have a breakdown. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here today for another round of TBR M.A.S.H. So for anyone who hasn't watched this video before, this is my TBR game. It is inspired by the childhood game of M.A.S.H, where you would use it to sort of dictate your life, only I use it to dictate my reading life. So each of the cards has a prompt. I pick a number which I then use to work my way around the board, eliminating cards as we go, and the one that's left in each of the categories is the one that I use to pick my TBR for the month. Then I also have M.A.S.H in the middle, which is the final one to choose, and M.A.S.H in the game stands for mansion, so in my game that is a big book over 500 pages. Apartment, which I would use as a small book, so under 200 pages, or 300 if I can't find one that's under 200. Shack, which is something I don't want to read, so it's a book I've been putting off. And house, which is something that is nice and comfortable, so that is a mood read. So that is, I think, all the rules you need to know. There's a couple of other things to do with punishments and things like that. If you want to know the full list of rules, I'll link a playlist above and below featuring all the previous videos, but you'll catch up as you go along. Like I said, if a punishment comes up, I'll let you know what that is. Speaking of any punishments, so let's just, before we get on with it, catch up on how I did on my previous month's TBR. So I am filming this a week before the end of the month. This is due to go up on the 31st, so obviously the last day of the month. As of filming, I have not finished my TBR for the month. I've really not had a great reading month at all. But I am hopeful that I will be able to finish my TBR before this video goes up and before the 1st of August. So I'm not going to do a punishment right now, but if for whatever reason I am not able to finish my TBR by the start of, sort of next Saturday, I will quickly film a punishment round that I will add in at the end of this video. So stick around and see whether or not I did actually manage to finish my TBR. I'll also just go through if there are any obligation reads that I have, anything that I'm trying to fit into my TBR. I do have one, I will just go and grab it and talk you through it. So the one book that I know I'm going to try and read during the month of August is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. So this is the first one in a trilogy, which is then part of a bigger sort of series which is called the Elderling series, I believe. And like I said, this is the first one in the original trilogy. Now there have been live shows and things going on for a read along to do with all of the Robin Hobb books since last year, I believe. I never got involved in that, but there is also now a sort of catch-up version of this going on that I believe Gavin and Steph are supposed to be doing during the month of August. So I thought I would join in. This was really cheap, it was on sale, so picked it up and thought, yes, you know, I'm going to try and finally read these. It's a fairly big series. I think there's 16 books in total, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm letting myself in for, but this is one of the smaller ones to start off with. So if I can fit this on my TBR, I will. If not, then it'll just be an extra read that I will have for the month of August. So now I need to pick a number to work my way around the board. So I've used a random number generator. I use the same sort of parameters every single time. It's between 5 and 15, and it's picked the number 13. So let's see what we end up with this month. I'm not going to show you me counting. Let's speed this up. So we have our first prompt. Let's see what it is. So this actually fits pretty perfect for what I've just said, and this is first in a series. So yes, like I said, I'm going to be picking Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. So what I know of this series, it follows a character called Fitz, who is the illegitimate son of the Crown Prince, and he is kind of raised separate from the royal family, considered not to be very useful, until they realise that actually he can be quite useful because he's close enough to the royal family to sort of be invited places and be sort of in that political world, but he's also far enough away that no one will necessarily suspect him of anything. So from what I know, this is Fitz when he is younger, and then there's a later trilogy that is him when he's older. So I believe that this is him sort of starting to be trained as an assassin's apprentice, obviously. Like I said, I don't know too much else about it. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to like this series. It's like higher fantasy than what I normally read, but I'm willing to give it a go. So yes, this is going to be the first one on my TBR for the month of August. Time to pick the second prompt. So we have our second prompt. That is subscription box backlist. So fairly easy one to explain. I need to pick a book that I got in a subscription box. So I'm going to go and have a look through, see what I have and see which one's intriguing me at the minute. So I could definitely regret picking this one because it is pretty big, but I have decided to finally pick up the City of Brass, and I'm holding it this way because you can't actually see what it says from the front because this is actually an ARC, but this came in an Illumicrate box many years ago and I have never read it. Again, do not really know much what it's about. It says on the back of it, among the swirling sands of the desert and behind gilded brass walls lies an enchanted city of golden domes, jade roofs and marble palaces, a place where magic pours down every street, hanging in the air like dust. Welcome to Daevabad, the legendary City of Brass, but remember there is a reason that they say to be careful what you wish for. That tells me absolutely nothing, but obviously I do know that there is a lot of hype around this series. I have seen all the pretty special editions that I missed out on, so I do want to see kind of what it's all about. I have a lot of merch actually to do with this that I've got in various subscription boxes throughout the years, I suppose, and yeah, just kind of want something to actually spur me to finally pick this one up because I've been wanting to read it. The only reason I'm thinking I might regret this is, like I said, it is very big and the writing is fairly small in this as well, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll like it and then I might have to go hunting down some finished copies from somewhere. Please, everyone, just stop me from trying to buy the very expensive subscription box versions that you can't buy without paying an extortionate amount now. Stop me from doing that right now. Okay, so on to prompt number 3. So we have our third prompt and that one is going to be graphic novel. So that is actually a good thing to have on there because graphic novels are definitely going to be quicker and easier for me to read. I have actually just ordered a graphic novel that I'm wanting to pick up soon, so I will insert a picture here of On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. Again, do not have a summary for this one. I could grab one if you want me to, but I've just wanted to read a Tilly Walden book for quite a while. And then I was in a bookstore last week and saw a really pretty version of this one and didn't buy it because it was very much out of my price limit, but then I come back, checked on Blackwell's and it was a fair amount cheaper. So I ended up ordering a copy of this, so I might as well read it as soon as possible. I'm not going to look up a synopsis to tell you what it's about because I like going into books not knowing too much what they're about. So yeah, just hope I like it, and I'll be reading it this month, so we'll find out, I suppose. The other thing to just point out is that one of the punishments that I have is if a colour of the prompt comes up twice, I have to pick another prompt as a sort of punishment pick, and we've had 2 greens now, so I will be picking another card momentarily. What we'll do is we'll pick this one first and then we'll pick the bonus one. It means I'll be reading at least 6 books this month, which shouldn't be too much, especially considering one of them's a graphic novel, but as I said, I've not been doing the best with my reading recently, so we'll see how it goes. There is also the potential that another punishment's going to come up at the end of this video. We'll see. Right, please be kind to me. So, one more prompt, and that is not going to be kind to me apparently. It's +1, which means that I need to add another extra one. So now I will be picking 2 more from my sort of extras on here, plus then just one to actually cover this prompt. So if we pick that one first, and that will be one word title. Okay. I will be back. I'm going to go and figure out what I'm going to go and figure out what's intriguing me here. Okay. So, I'm not entirely sure why I'm doing this to myself, but I am definitely in the mood to read fantasy at the minute. I feel like that might help with the bit of a reading slump that I'm in. Normally I would say to pick up contemporary, but contemporary is all I've been reading and I've not been wanting to pick them up. And the one book that I have been wanting to pick up a lot recently was the one sort of fantasy that I read during the month. So I am going to go for this one because I do also know that I have the audiobook, so I could just listen to it like that, but also because I really want to read another book by this author before their new book comes out in September that I already have pre-ordered. Do not know if I'm going to like, because I've only ever read books by this author when they've written them with another author. So all of that is me skirting around saying I'm going to read Nevernight this month. Apparently it is one word. I did check. Nevernight looks like it should be two, but it seems to just be one. So yeah, again, have absolutely no idea what this one is about. I've heard about the character of Mia. That is about it. I, as I've said, have read from J. Kristoff before. I've read Illuminae, which I didn't love just because I felt like the mixed media was fun, but I couldn't get enough from the story because of it. And then I read Aurora Rising, which I did actually really enjoy. So we'll see how I like this, because as I just mentioned, I have Empire of the Vampire pre-ordered. I had the Waterstones edition. I also am expecting it to be in a subscription box. So I'm possibly going to have two versions of that, which means I really hope that I actually do like his writing style. And Nevernight is obviously his most popular work, and it's one that's sat on my shelves for a while. So maybe we'll actually try it and see how I feel. I've got a really summery TBR going on for August so far, haven't I, with all this fantasy. Yeah, Nevernight. We're doing it. So I now need to pick, before I go on to pick M.A.S.H, I will pick my two extras. I will say the colours don't count for these ones. I've already had as many punishments as I'm going to get, unless I have the one for not finishing my TBR, which, I mean, I definitely need to finish that TBR now in the next week, because otherwise I've got 8 books on here, and quite a lot of them are chunky fantasies. So yeah, inspiration to get reading for the next week. So what I'm going to do is just going to pick the last two that are left on here to cover sort of the +1 and then the double colour. Right, let's go. So we have two left here. So the first one is, I like this one, LGBTQ+ rep. So that should be fairly easy, although I did just read a hell of a lot of queer representation of Pride, so we'll see what's left on my shelves. I'll be back momentarily. And then I just realised actually I went book shopping in the middle of the month, and I went to the bookshop Gaze the Word in London, which is all queer books. So obviously I have something to pick for this, and that is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Diva. So this tells the story of a non-binary teen who comes out to their parents and then is kicked out of the house and ends up moving in with their sister. They then plan to kind of live their senior year at high school under the radar as much as possible, not planning on coming out at school, and just trying to survive until they get to college. And then they meet a boy and things kind of go from there. This one has been on my radar for a while. I just picked it up because it's the first time I've actually seen it in a bookstore. I don't know if it's actually even out in the UK. I've never seen it in a store anyway, and this is definitely an American copy. But I'm glad to finally have my hands on this one, and I will be reading it in August now, apparently. It seems fairly short as well, and also we all just appreciate that. We all love a floppy paperback, obviously. So yeah, I am glad to have something that will break up the fantasy a little bit as well. Right. And the other prompt that I picked from this is sequel. So I don't know what I actually have to read the sequel of, but I will go and have a look and I will get back to you. So for sequel, I'm going to choose another one that I recently picked up because I would like to read it sooner rather than later, because I know what I'm like, and otherwise I will put it off and then just forget about it. And that is The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. So this is the 4th book in the Truly Devious series. The Truly Devious series is all set at a sort of elite boarding school for people who kind of choose their own curriculum. So everyone has their own sort of passion, and they're all learning about that rather than sort of regular schooling. And the main character particularly wants to be an investigator. She's kind of like a private detective, and she takes it upon herself to solve this long-standing mystery in the school about the school's founder and their wife and child that went missing. And the first 3 are all about that and solving that mystery. It was originally intended to be a trilogy, I believe, but then for some reason it's now carrying on. I'm not sure how I feel about that, so I'm going to try this one to see how it goes. I think there may be more then coming out afterwards, but if I don't like this one, I'll probably just leave it there and sort of leave it as a trilogy, because it wrapped up really nicely. I'll just forget that this one existed if I have to. But it seems like this one is set at a summer camp where Stevie, the main character, is invited to solve some sort of other mystery, and she brings her friends along with her. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, it's not that I have low expectations, but I don't particularly have high expectations either. I'm just gonna try and go in as neutral as possible. So last one, unless I have to add an extra one afterwards, but what is hopefully the last one because I already have like a lot of books here. So let's see how we get on. So this has actually been nice to me now. This is House, so that means I get to pick a mood read. So obviously that means I'm not going to tell you what I'm reading for that one right now because I'm just going to pick up whatever catches my eye at the time. It could be that I end up wanting to binge one of these series and I end up picking the sequel straight away. It could just be something completely different. I don't think there's anything I've got my eye on that's coming out in August, so but you never know when I'm going to walk into a bookstore and there's going to be something that I want to buy and read immediately. So it's nice to have the mood read in my back pocket for that. So that is everything that is on my TBR for the month. Fingers crossed. As I said, if for whatever reason I don't complete my July TBR, then there will be a clip inserted here. Hopefully there wasn't a clip inserted there. So let's just talk you through what is definitely on my TBR for the month. So for first in a series, we have Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. For subscription box backlist, we have City of Brass by S.H. For graphic novel, we have On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. For one word title, we have Nevernight by J. Christoph. For LGBTQ+ rep, we have I Wish You All the Best by Mason Diva. For sequel, we have The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. And then we have a mood read that is whatever I feel like at the time. So this is how my TBR is shaping up for the month, obviously plus two other ones. I will say that although I've got a graphic novel on here, On a Sunbeam is not a small graphic novel. I possibly should have just picked the next volume of Saga, but I didn't. Mistakes were made. Anyway, hopefully this will actually be something that gets me back into reading. I'm hoping that all of these sort of worlds down here, all of these fantasy worlds, will be that sort of escape that I'm wanting at the minute. So we will see how it goes, I guess. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Tell me what is on your TBR for the month of August. Is there anything that you're particularly excited to read? How are you guys feeling sort of just with your reading in general at the minute? Have you sort of got to the middle of the year and hit a wall like I have? Hopefully it's not just me, but it might be. Hopefully I'll be able to snap out of it as soon as possible because I'm just looking at my shelves and there's still so much that I want to read, but I've just not been able to sit down and concentrate on it. So fingers crossed this TBR works a little bit better for me than last month. Again, thank you guys for watching and I will see you guys next time. Bye.